One of the things I'm doing before I put the tires and wheels back on is greasing all the fittings really good. There's one on the upper, the lower, ball joint, tie rod end, idler arm, tie rod end, idler arm there. Lots of grease fittings on this car. And ball joint down below, tie rod end, pitman arm. So there's also on the upper control arm bushings, there's grease fittings. I can get them from under the hood, but why it's jacked up and on jack stands is an easy time to grease all the steering linkage and suspension. So it's greased up about the fourth or fifth time I've really greased it good since I got the car drivable. I think it's important to try and get the old grease out and get some new in there and work it around with new grease. So that's done. Next will be the tires. Okay, well, we got the tires mounted on the wheels and on the car. That's the spare. I didn't clean the stuff off the white wall for the spare so it stays clean, but they're mounted on the car. I got to lower the car down, torque the lug nuts, and put the hubcaps back on. And then we'll back it out and get some video of it outside. They look nice on the car. One of my tubers, Cabo Choppers, I hope I pronounced that right, said he puts plastic dip on the little burrs to prevent them from scratching the rim up. So I went around and painted a couple coats. This is the stuff that I had, that I used. Black plastic dip. And I just used a little foam brush to put it on the ears, so hopefully that'll help keep the rims a little more from getting chute tore up. So we'll get the hubcaps on, get the car off the jacks, and pull the car out. I got a couple other things I got to do, so we'll try and get it out while the sun's still shining. Well, I put the spare in for now. I'm going to have to remove all this stuff. When I paint the trunk pan, I got to still paint the floor of the trunk. And I will probably do that in the next week or two. After I get the trunk pan all painted up, I will start buffing the paint, cleaning the paint up on the car. This is all the old parts from the car I saved, everything, all the original stuff from the car I saved. Okay, we got new tires on the old car here. They look awesome. Just backing it out of the garage, I noticed the difference. We'll go for a little ride and get some video of them in a little more opened area. Big difference in the way the car drives. Huge difference. Smooth as silk. I don't know which one of these streets has a little parking lot at the end of it, but we'll try one of them. Wow, this thing just moves right along. So smooth. really cold out today too. Here we go, nice parking space. All right, there we go. New tires on it. I had them put the weights on the outside too because that's the way these cars are made. When they balance these tires and they're on the dealer lot, they had their weights out here too. So I'm not all about some perfect show quality. It's a mostly original driver. It's a Survivor. I got new bolts for the bumper here. Got a couple of them I got to throw in. I got to paint the trunk floor pan. Still have things to do on the car, but it looks really, really good. Alright, I don't know what's going to show up in this video. I got the GoPro on my head and hopefully it shows up, but we'll go out for a little short ride with the new tires. Alright, we had a little coolant leak and I took the inspection cover off. And we got a leaking water valve. That is the water valve to the heater core. You can obviously see the heater core too. So I'll see if I can find a new water valve on the internet and get that apart and replace it. You got to pull all these screws around the plenum, and then you can get at the heater core and the water valve. And I guess if I'm going to pull a heater core out to put a water valve in, I'll have it checked out. But the heater core looked okay. I had a mirror and poked it around in there with the light, and it looks like it's just the water valve that's bad. But if I'm going to all the work of taking apart, I'll have the heater core checked out too and then be done with it. So if I'm pulling this assembly off to do the heater core, I'll clean that up and paint it. But the heater hoses appeared to be tight, so I think it's just a bad water valve, which isn't uncommon on something this age. So I'll find a water valve and get that changed out. Okay, just a little update on the leaking heater water valve. I ordered a new one, so I'll probably have it by next week Monday. So tomorrow I'm going to pull a heater core out and take it to the radiator shop and have them clean it and check it all out, make sure the heater core is all good. And we'll get a new valve in there, and then we won't have to worry about anything with the cooling system. Those heater valves have a little neoprene seal on them that tends to crack with age and stuff, so I suspect I've replaced the one in my 59 Chevy twice since I've owned it, so they're not an uncommon thing to go bad. And having a new one in there and the heater core all checked out will just be a big peace of mind to make sure that there's no issues with it in the future. And that's what I want to make this car a reliable, fun driver, and I'm not going to bypass the heater like a lot of people do, because it's nice to have heat when you want it, like today. You know, it's cold out today, so I had the heat on. So we will get that all fixed up, and like I said, tomorrow I'll make a little video with tearing the heater plenum out of here and getting the heater core out.